I'm gonna cut it up for you guys like little children. Right? It's sweet, it's salty, savory, great textures. The beef is super tender and delicious, nice and caramelized, and that salad is just a bit like tangy and crunchy. All of those sauces on the plate marrying together with the rice getting absorbed in. So yummy. Hi everyone, so today I'm showing you how to make one of the easiest weeknight recipes that I have in my repertoire. We're making sweet soy marinated fillet steaks with a radish, cucumber, and sesame salad over some rice. The reason I love this dish is because you're using pantry staples like a bit of soy sauce, a little mirin, to give that steak just a really quick little marinade, and then we're just gonna sizzle it off in the pan, make a quick little salad, so it's just easy. Your whole family is gonna love this. I think kids, adults, everyone the like. So the cut that I've chosen for this recipe is fillet. The reason I love fillet is because it's super forgiving to cook. It stays incredibly tender. You can find it almost anywhere. And actually, to take what you might find as a portion of an fillet steak in the grocery store and turn it into a minute steak is as easy as slicing through it. So it's really simple, really available, but you could make minute steak from literally any cut of beef as long as it's cut thin. So if you've purchased steaks and they've come in these sort of like thicker medallions that they can cut in, all you want to do is just cut them in half like that, and you're left with minute steaks. Just cut them, make them a little bit thinner. You can flatten them out with your knife. Those will cook super quick, be on the dinner table in minutes. So I'll just pop my steaks over to the side, get my marinade ready. Okay, so the marinade I mentioned, super easy using pantry staples that you'd have at home. So we're gonna just get a little soy sauce, a little bit of mirin. So mirin is like sake, but it has the alcohol's been cooked out, about 2 tablespoons of that. And then actual sake, just a couple little spoonfuls of that. And then something I use in marinades for things that are meant to cook really quickly is a little bit of sugar. So the sugar just helps everything caramelize. Obviously adds a lovely sweet flavor, but it's mostly there for that wonderful caramelization, which is so important with beef. And you may also recognize that these flavors are very similar to like a teriyaki, and that is very much the vibe that we're going for. And then it's as simple as popping those little steaks into this marinade. They're just gonna sit while we prepare everything else. Just a couple minutes. They don't really need much more than that. Let that hang out for a little bit. One of my tips when you're cooking dinner at home and you're just trying to get everything on the table is really think about how long things take. So I usually like to start with the thing that's gonna take the longest. So in this case, the steak cooks so fast, the salad is so quick, it's so easy. The thing that takes the longest is steaming the rice. So I'm just gonna get that over to the sink, get it rinsed, and we'll get into the pot to cook. So a little tip on cooking rice at home. I think rice can be one of those things that's a little bit nerve-wracking for people. How much water, every kind of rice is different, but actually a tip that is kind of foolproof and I know has spanned generations of how people cook rice is what I do, because I can't remember the ratios either. Just measure from the tip of your fingertip touching the top of the rice to your first knuckle. So just like that, that's perfect. That's exactly how much water we need to cook that rice perfectly. Now I'm just gonna bring it to the boil. The next element for this dish that we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare a little crunchy, delicious salad that's flavored with a bit of sesame oil, a bit of soy sauce. So mimicking the flavors that are in the beef, but with a bit more vinegar, so it's kind of that sharp contrast, as well as great textural contrast. Just gonna give these a little rinse in the sink. Beautiful, look at the color of those radishes. They look so delicious. All right, so I'm just gonna take off most of that green. You can use something like a mandolin, but I just think for ease, it's so much better to just go in with your knife, make this job a little 2-second job. You don't have to dirty anything else in the kitchen that you have to clean up later. And I love actually that they're like a little bit thicker, so you get amazing crunch. We're gonna crush some cucumbers. So I like to put it inside of a little tea towel so it doesn't like splatter everywhere, but then I just, and you're left with something that looks like a crime scene, but it's delicious. The reason we do this with cucumbers is that actually crushing it like that creates all these little pockets for like this delicious vinaigrette that we're gonna make to get into. And it just means that it like holds all of those flavors so much better. So I just wanna get them into like little bite-sized pieces, so you can just break them with your hands or cut it with a knife, whatever you're happy to do. So once it's come up to a boil, give it a quick little stir, lid on, heat down to the lowest setting, and 15 minutes. All right, my last little bit of flavoring here In the vegetable department is a little bit of garlic. This is an enormous clove of garlic. We're not gonna use that much unless you love garlic, and then you can definitely feel free, but I'm gonna cut that like in half. And just use a little microplane, an essential kitchen tool for me. Then we're just gonna dress this up. Pretty classic. A bit of soy sauce, a little bit of rice wine vinegar. That's what gives it that lovely tang, which is such a great counterpoint to the delicious steaks. And then one of my favorite flavors, a little bit of toasted sesame oil, roasted sesame seeds. Oh, doesn't that look so good? Last thing, this also needs a little pinch of sugar. Not a lot. Sugar there is just to balance those tangy flavors, and we'll just give it a taste. So good. It's crunchy, salty, tangy. It's gonna be perfect with those steaks. Now we're on to cooking steaks. So one of the keys when cooking a minute steak is that you wanna get your pan super hot. So we're gonna let that preheat. While that's happening, I'm gonna just get these steaks out of the marinade. Don't get rid of this marinade because we're gonna pour it back into the pan after the steaks have cooked to become a bit of like a glaze on top of them. So hold on to that. So just a quick way to tell that your pan is hot is you wanna add splashes of water, and if they just evaporate immediately, then your pan is hot and ready to go. Some neutral oil that has like a nice high smoking point in the pan. It's hot. And then we're gonna get our steaks in. All right, so we're getting ready to flip. You can see that we've got some nice browning happening there. Beautiful. I love eye fillet for this kind of thing because it stays super tender as you're cooking it. Even if you were to overcook it a little bit, it's still gonna be juicy, delicious, flavorful. It's one of those pieces of beef that is so well loved by everyone. Amazing, that's literally it. So we're gonna take them out of the pan. And then as I mentioned with that glaze, that marinade, just gonna pour that in. Smells incredible. Turn the heat off here. You can see it's nice and thick in there. And then I'm gonna just pour that over my steaks. Yum! Got all of our sauce in the pan now. Rice is ready. I'm just gonna turn that off. I like to let rice kind of sit for a couple minutes, so while you're getting your plates together, that can just hang out for a moment, and then we're gonna plate up and we're gonna eat. First, I'm gonna taste it. That sauce is so good. It's actually like deeply savory. It's not as sweet as you might think. It's just so perfect with that beef. And look, that whole thing just took like minutes to make. Super easy, really quick. It's gonna be incredibly delicious, and I think everyone's gonna love it. So even though it's a weeknight meal, we still wanna give it like a nice little garnish. So I'm just gonna slice up a few of these beautiful spring onions to put over the top. Okay, so now we're just gonna clear the decks, get ready to eat. Moment of truth for the rice. And voila, it's perfect. Just fluff it up a little bit. Perfect weeknight dinner accompaniment. And you can see that as it's like kind of sat, it's sort of formed a bit more of like its own dressing, which is just so good. That juiciness is delicious. The main attraction are delicious little minute steaks. Sauce from the pan. Everything, yum! Spring onions that we use to garnish. Oh my God, doesn't that just look so good? You just want to dive in, and I'm going to. So good. It's sweet, it's salty, savory, great textures. The beef is super tender and delicious, nice and caramelized. And that salad, it's just a bit like tangy, crunchy. All of those sauces on the plate marrying together with the rice getting absorbed in. So yummy. This dish is a real winner. I think everyone's gonna love it. I know I do. Yeah. Great.